Welcome to Michigan Reimagined, presented by Good Marketing and Wagoner Financial. And here's your host, Chris Buck.
So for decades now, businesses have been chasing SEO, search engine optimization, for their websites. AI is changing things, and it'll likely require a new strategy to get discovered as a business. Here to share how Good Marketing is learning and sharing their findings, we've got the principal and president, Debbie Horak, and the director of special projects, Joel Newport. Welcome back to the show, Debbie and Joel.
Thank you.
So Debbie, let's start with you. Just for those not familiar, give us a little history of Good Marketing. What's your mission? What services do you provide? Who tend to be your clients?
All right. Thank you so much for having us today. So yes, we're a marketing company that's been around in the Lansing area for over 40 years. But our sole mission is focused on social issues and really impacting people's lives and communities in a positive way. Very proud of this mission, and I think that's the reason why people come to Good Marketing. Not only our clients, but also the staff that works there, because they all share in that mission of doing good in the world.
Right on. Very nice. And so SEO, so search engine optimization, what are the origins and the basics of how marketing companies kind of advise their clients to drive traffic to their websites historically?
So historically, SEO, has been about getting to that number one spot in the list of blue links.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Getting that reference, right? So it was a way to have your search engines understand the site through things like keywords and metadata, right? Because if you go to Google and you type in the words, the things that you want to search for, those needed to be part of the website in order for that to be found.
Yep.
So then, from there, SEO kind of turned into a game. Because Google, who owns, almost all the online data in the world, held that pretty close to the vest of what it took.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of people would try to trick the system, they would do keyword stuffing, or you would have a bunch of different web pages on your website that didn't really offer any value, but they were used for the search engine to pick them up, so that they would be included in the ranks. So again, the whole idea was to get that human to click on that blue link.
Got it. Okay. And that's starting to make changes now. Like I know that I don't even know when it happened, but I just kind of noticed it. So when I start typing in search criteria,
right.
Where's the best place to buy a car? How do I get a yellow shirt? Or, whatever whatever I'm looking for. Now I get the AI summary. And I'm not sure if that's specifically the search engine that I'm using, but you get this AI summary, usually a couple of paragraphs, and there's like that little link at the bottom. And I guess that, of each of those little paragraphs, you click on those and that'll take you to, I guess, wherever they grab that information. I mean, is that kind of what we're talking about here? That's the punchline, right? Because below that, you get the AI summary that allows you to do some things with it and gives you generally your answer and some links you can go to. But then below that, you get what was the traditional blue links that you were talking about that people have been chasing forever.
Right. It's the difference between SEO and AEO. And AEO is answer engine optimization.
Okay.
So AI is about the answer, not about, if I say I want, a winter coat, or what's the best winter coat, right? I just want an answer. It's this. I don't need 10 links to do my own research. I just want the answer. And that's where things like that's how ChatGPT and other AI systems have just changed the game completely. Is people just want the answer.
Got it. So I don't want a link that reviews the top 15 coats and then ranks them. Just tell me what
Tell me what to buy.
Right.
Tell me what to get. I don't have the time for that. I don't want, it doesn't apply to me. That's really what's happening. But the consequence of that is that fewer and fewer people are going to websites. So
the click-throughs.
Yeah. So when you think about measuring your website traffic, well, if the AI is serving the answer and no one's going to your website, how do you get credit for that? Or how do you become, known? How do people even know who you are if the answer is just given and no one has to go to your site to learn anything?
Got it. Okay. So in your winter coat example, if the response is Patagonia B2000, whatever is the answer, I guess as a shopper, you still need to probably then go to the next search, which is where do I find the best price on a Patagonia B2000?
Correct.
Completely making that up. I'm not even a Patagonia brand
Patagonia's going to like
just
you.
trying to share. Right, yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Or North Face or
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and so that's where agentic services come into play. So you get the answer, right?
Right.
Then the way that AI is heading now, and AI search is heading now, into this agent world where you can just say, you know what, ChatGPT, just find me the best deal and buy it for me and ship it to my house. That's where we're headed. We're not quite there yet.
Okay.
But that's where it will go. You won't, you will have this agent on your behalf searching for the best deals and balancing out shipping versus the full price and all of that. But you won't have to do it unless you really want to. And the way that these agents work now is, you probably heard the term human in the loop. At what stage does the human come back in? Is it when you put your credit card number in, or do you trust your credit card number? Do you just give it to the AI and it can just do it for you? Do you just say, as long as it's under, $95, just go ahead and buy it or whatever?
Yeah.
That's where agentic shopping is going to become more and more a normal part of everybody's lives.
Huh. Okay. Well, before we go down the rabbit hole, I'm going to give a nod to our friends at Wagoner Financial. Whether you're just starting out planning for retirement or anywhere in between, Wagoner is here to help you make smart financial decisions. They offer comprehensive, customized planning from investment strategies and tax solutions to insurance, accounting, and estate planning. Wagoner is dedicated to supporting you, your family, your business, and your future. Using their unique team approach and maximizing each member's specializations, they ensure there is someone who will have the answer to your question and is ready to help. Schedule a consultation by visiting wagoner-financial.com or give them a call at 517-853-3367. So if you're a merchant that's trying to make a go out of brick and mortar, so rest in peace, Casa Checks. I know they've been closed for a long time, but we got a men's clothier right here downtown, 140-year-old place that had been around forever.
Yeah.
If they're selling that coat, what do you advise them, hypothetically, if they were a client, to try to get in the way and be a place that, before it was like, I need a winter coat. Where should I go? I live in Lansing. Go to Casa Checks. Here's their address and their website, and you can shop online and do that kind of stuff there. Maybe there is no real answer yet, and it certainly is going to change, but how do you advise a client or you get two sides of this.
Sure. As
a shopper, we've been talking about, but if you're a merchant.
Well, we've talked a lot about this and just how you used to think about your website and the content and information as keywords, right, for that search. And now it's really changing to the structured data. And what does that really mean? Like, how are you creating the content or context of information on your website that can connect with the AI agents? And so that is something that is kind of changing rapidly, too, as we're experimenting. So I don't know if we have a few points we can tell our viewers, but...
Yeah, so I would say this first, because we don't do a lot of retail, I just want to preface that, right? But there's kind of two things going on. One is the actual purchasing retail process, and that uses a series of what are called APIs, which are these codes that allow robots to connect to sites, and it uses structured data to manage inventory and prices so that the AI can come in and do business. Okay? That's the retail side. Then there's this brand side, the discovery of your brand, right? That's more where we would work from an agency standpoint.
Creating awareness.
Creating awareness and brand. So how do you even get noticed, or how do you get an AI to serve you in that, what we call that position 0 that you talked about, right?
Yep.
Position 0, above the number 1 link, that AI summary or the knowledge boxes that Google has. And structured data is a big part of this. And what structured data is, there's an organization like an official group of people called schema.org, and they have come up with different business categories and information categories and a structured set of data that if adhered to, that all of the robots can read and understand. So that would be my first thing to say. Get your instead of keywords stuffing, you go to this schema, this organized data, and it just goes in it's plain text, super easy, just goes in your header, right? And then the next thing is your content on the site. So first of all, SEO isn't dead, okay? SEO is still incredibly important because
true.
AI searches use Google, Bing, use their indexes.
Got it. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So you still need to rank high in that thing. But then there's another additional layer on top of that, and that is the trusted content layer, okay? So the AI has its own criteria of what is a trusted content or what is a content expert. And that's all about what's going to be the content on your site. So it used to be that, like, you could write a blog like, the top 10 things to do, the top 10 headlines to get your blog noticed, right? And it could be just very generic things like it needs to be punchy, it needs to do, that doesn't work anymore because it's not valuable content, right? It's kind of like what they call echo chamber content. It's content that everybody says, right?
Okay.
Your content has to be unique, and it has to be it has to add value to the human, okay? So if it adds value to the human, the AI will prioritize that higher than if it's just kind of there to get noticed, right? Which is what we used to do with SEO. So those two things combined, that better content, and then you want your content to be structured to answer a question, because that's how you use ChatGPT. How do I? Where do I? What do I, right? So you take your business and you have to kind of figure out what kind of questions would people ask that you as a business or as an organization providing knowledge could answer, right?
Yep.
How do, we do recycling. How do I recycle plastic bags, right?
Yep.
So my content has to answer that question, but it should also have that question in the content. So you're basically helping the AI understand. If somebody asks, how do I recycle plastic bags? And then I have a web page that says, how to recycle plastic bags, or how do you recycle plastic bags? It's going to make a much more higher trusted match for that.
Got it.
For that content. So having, it's almost like the return of the FAQ. FAQs are way more valuable now because FAQs literally are how people are searching and talk to chat.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to kind of set you up for that answer engine optimization. And it's better to just have it as text on your website as opposed to download this PDF of the top. AIs don't like PDFs. They don't like documents. I mean, yes, they can work with them, but that's somebody wrote a program for the AI to understand those, a layer on top of the AI, right? To understand PDF structure and that sort of thing. It's just so much easier for the robots to handle plain text, organized in a logical fashion.
Right.
Back to basics.
Wow. All right.
I know. Isn't it funny? We keep thinking about what does a robot need? It's a whole new audience. So, yeah.
Well, before I get lost down to another rabbit hole, I want to thank our friends at Michigan Rise. This episode is brought to you by the Michigan Rise Pre-Seed Fund, providing early stage funding to Michigan-based startups. Since 2020, Michigan Rise has helped high-tech, high-growth startup companies achieve commercial and technical milestones through capital formation strategies, talent development, and customer acquisition tactics. With financing options for every stage of the entrepreneurial journey, Michigan Rise significantly increases the impact of new ideas and research. Visit www.michiganrise.com to discover how Michigan Rise can help fuel your startup's growth. Michigan Rise is supported by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and the Michigan State University Research Foundation. So all of that is fascinating. Now, as an old guy, I might ask these questions. Hey, where do I get my wife whatever? Or how do I buy this present? Or how do I fix this problem that I have? The other place I spend my time is social media. And so there are stores and brands that I tend to follow. And so their content kind of lands in my feed. And I'm sure that there's obviously a way it knows what I'm thinking. And I'll type in a search engine so I might see more of their stuff. Is there a strategy in the social media realm that helps this whole equation?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as your website.
Okay.
Yeah.
You make your content valuable to the person.
Right.
Yep.
Make it as
Answer the
unique as possible. Answer the questions, and then, it's also important to be in other places.
Right.
Right. So, PR becomes a big part of it. Right, because a news station, a news media outlet, a show like this one gives a higher ranking to credibility. So when you are participating in that, or you get mentioned in the news, or you have a PR event that gets covered, those things increase your value on your website, because it's kind of like what backlinks used to do. Right?
Okay.
We used to try to have other websites linked to your websites, and the more links you had, the better. Now it's not about the link, it's just about the information.
Got it. Okay. So I'm starting to kind of run out of ways to ask. I feel like I'm asking the same question. So you've got, again, two sides of this equation. If you are, say, the merchant or the person who's trying to get the attention of the searcher, you do all the things that you talked about. As the searcher, are there any tips or tricks, or can I be doing something to save myself time or be more clear in what I'm looking for, or I don't know. How does that work?
So prompt engineering was a really popular phrase when AI first came out, right?
Yeah.
Now it's kind of evolved into context engineering, meaning how much context can you give the AI to do a better job? And, usually that involves giving it a background, giving it a role. The role is really important. You can also have it ask you questions to clarify what you want, and then you give it a task. So for the code example, you can say, I live in Michigan. It gets sometimes to 10 below zero, and I'm outside a lot, so I need a really comfortable coat that I can work in and move in, but I also don't, I need to, stay warm. So it can't be too thin, can't be too thick. You give it all of that stuff, right? And then you can say, give it a role. You could say, you are a buyer for Old Navy, or you are a buyer for the largest clothing manufacturer in the country, and you have all the knowledge of all the coats in the world. Give it that persona. And then have it ask you some questions back. Say, hey, ask me 3 questions that give you, the AI, more context that I may have missed in the context, that will help you do your job better.
So that could be like, fashion versus functional.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, I'm a construction guy. I'm not a banker, right? So
Exactly.
I don't need,
but the AI will ask you those questions.
And waterproof. So
the AI might say, is fashion important to you? That's a very legit question, right? And then you give it a task. Then your job is to find me the best coat for the value and for all the criteria that I said. It's a lot more involved, but it's a lot different than just find me a nice coat.
Right.
Right? Which is so open-ended. It means so many different things to so many different people.
Right.
So the more context you can give in your searches, the more accurate and the more tailored those things will be given back to you.
Makes sense.
Isn't this fun?
Wonderful. What else haven't I asked that you think the listeners need to know about? Because we're getting close to up against the clock. And
Joel and I often talk about that, just not to be afraid of AI. And there's so much talk about AI, but be curious and experiment. And that's what we're trying to do for our clients, really learn how to use it in smart ways, to be more efficient and produce better results. And really, how do we connect that good information to the people that need it. And so that's really, it helps us with our mission. So we're embracing it, I think, in really good ways as we continue to learn. And like we said, like this whole SEO is not dead. You're just adding another layer of AEO, the answer engine optimization. So that's what we're just going to see, continuous change over the next few years, just like marketing has greatly changed, right, over the last 40 years.
Well, and I would add that AI is such a rapidly changing field.
Yeah.
Literally every day something happens. I think, 7 new AI tools are introduced a day now. I mean, the change is
right.
so incredible. With image generation and models understanding the physical world, that is improving every day. I mean, right now, we are at the point where AI will be the dumbest it will ever be.
Right. Yeah. Good point.
Right. It'll just keep
like me.
It'll just keep getting. It'll just keep getting better. Right.
Yep.
Just like we do.
Just like we do.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah. So there's no amount of, okay, I've done this and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because tomorrow could change.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you do have to sort of pay attention and keep trying things and sort of, especially when you're talking about your website. I mean, analytics still matter. Pay attention to the analytics. Have people ask questions about your industry to see if you even come up, right?
Right.
In your chat. So that's super important to do, because there's no real way right now, and I say this right now as of the recording of today.
Yep.
There's no way to give credit to you for something served to somebody like there is in a Google search. So if I search something in ChatGPT goes to my website, takes my answer and delivers it to the person because it feels like it's the correct answer. There's no way for me as a marketer to get credit for that exchange, which is how marketers show their value, right?
Right.
So right now, AI is really messing that up for a lot of marketers, because you can guess and you can create. There are tools out there that have different ways of measuring that, but it's not. It's not a one-to-one like it is with a Google search where it's captured.
Right on. Excellent. Well, fascinating conversation. We are up against the clock, but boy, I got to tell you, again, keep paying attention. This isn't going away, I guess, is the biggest theme.
And be curious.
Yeah.
Exactly. Excellent. All right. Well, we've been speaking with the principal and president, Debbie Horak from Good Marketing, and director of special projects, Joel Newport, on AEO and how it rivals and complements with SEO. So
very nice.
Constantly moving target, but I appreciate you coming in and shedding some light on our on the topic to me and the listeners. Thank you very much for joining me here today.
Thank you.
I'd like to give a final shout out to all the loyal sponsors. We got Wagoner Financial, Good Marketing, Triterra Environmental, Keller Williams Advantage and Team, Michigan Rise, Kirk Byron State Farm, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. Great people doing great work. And if you found the show as a one-off, I want to remind you to follow and subscribe to Michigan Reimagined pretty much everywhere you find your podcasts. This is Chris Buck signing off for Michigan Reimagined.